Hello students, myself Mutturaju NP, working as assistant professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Vidyavardhaka College of Engineering, Mysuru. Now I will explain about the IC engine and heat balance sheet. All these things let me explain. First and foremost, you must know how the engine will works. An engine which absorbs the heat energy from the high temperature reservoir at the temperature, it is maintaining at the temperature T1, and then it is absorbing Q1 amount of the heat energy, and then it will do some amount of the work, that the work it is equal to Q1 minus Q2, and then it will leave some amount of the heat energy to the low temperature reservoir. The engine is maintained between the high temperature reservoir and the low temperature reservoir, and then heat will be rejected to the Q at the Q2 rate, and then at the temperature T2. And here you can see that the amount of the work done, it is equal to Q1 minus Q2, that is amount of heat energy absorbed minus amount of the heat energy rejected. Therefore, how much amount of the heat energy that is rejected to the exhaust or sink, that will be reduced, then your IC engine efficiency will be increases. Therefore, whatever the work is done inside the engine, it is in the IC engine, it will be called, that one it will be is equal to indicated power. The amount of work developed inside the engine, it is equal to indicated power. This is the thing. See, in this engine, piston will be tend to move from the top dead center to the bottom dead center when it is occurred with brake power. Next, and this is the story. Amount of heat energy given to the system, it is equal to Qs, it is equal to Q1, it is equal to mass flow rate of the fuel into calorific value of the fuel. Mass rate of the fuel will be injected inside the cylinder or given to the cylinder, then Cv is the calorific value, then its multiplication, it will be gives what kilowatts amount of the power. Therefore, I am showing here this one is the what petrol cycle, that is constant pressure volume cycle, that is your, this is the thing. Air will be taken inside the engine cylinder, and then it will be compressed, heat will be added to the engine cylinder, then it is added to the cylinder, that is our cylinder in terms of it will be to the system. Amount of heat energy when it is given to the system will be expanded, that is your thermodynamic fluid will be expanded here, and then amount of heat energy will be rejected from the system, and then after the rejection it will be exhausted. While exhausted, piston will be moved from the bottom dead center to the top dead center. Therefore, this is the exhaust stroke. Next, this is amount of heat energy given to the sink. The amount of heat energy given to the sink, that will be go to the atmosphere in many ways. One will be very important. Amount of heat energy will be carried away by the water, that one will be measured by MCP delta T. Amount of heat energy carried away by the exhaust gas, amount of heat energy radiated, and then last one, it will be the unknown amount of heat energy losses. The some amount of the heat energy can't be measured, how much amount of the heat energy is losing. First and foremost, we have to understand indicated power and the brake power. This will be the indicated power, this will be the brake power. Amount of heat work will be developed inside the engine, it is equal to what? Work. That equivalence of heat and work, Joule's experiment, you know in the basic thermodynamics. Same thing you want, same concept you want to apply here, and then same work will be transferred to the shaft, and then it will be available at the flywheel. Then this one will be measured by using a hydraulic dynamometer or brake drum dynamometer, rope brake dynamometer. Different kind of the dynamometers are available, or even by using electric generators, that will be the measurement of your work. Then in between, due to the mechanical parts, the amount of work will be lost, that will be so called the frictional power. Then IP, this one will be the IP. The indicated power can be divided by C here. Already one will be the brake power, another one will be the frictional power. Therefore, let me explain now about the indicated power. What is indicated power? It is defined as the amount of the power developed by the combustion of fuel inside the engine cylinder. Already I shown now Q1 minus Q2, that is heat supplied minus heat rejection, it is equal to work done. The same work done, it will be so called as indicated power. That will be given by the equation IP is equal to Tm, mean effective pressure. This is the mean effective pressure. LAN, L-A-N. L means length of the stroke, stroke length, cross-section area of the cylinder, and N, speed of the engine, and divided by 60,000. And K, what is this K? K is equal to 1 by 2 for the 4-stroke engine. K is equal to 1 for the 2-stroke engine. Therefore, indicated power. See, let me make you to understand the mean effective pressure. Mean effective pressure means from year to year, if at all piston need to move from the top dead center to the bottom dead center, definitely that has to come along with some amount of the pressure. That pressure will be not same from year to year. Therefore, you want to take the mean pressure, mean effective pressure. Why effective? That is responsible for moving of the piston from top dead center to the bottom dead center. That's why it is so called as the mean effective pressure. Mean effective pressure, top dead center to the bottom dead center, the piston will move. So this will be the equation. Mean effective pressure will be measured in terms of the Newton per meter square. In the examination they will give in terms of bar also. 1 bar ATC is equal to 10 to the power 5 Newton per meter square, 1 bar pressure. Next, you can come across with the other term. A is the cross section area of the cylinder, pi d square divided by 4, where d is equal to diameter of the cylinder, L is the length of the stroke, and k is equal to n for stroke of the engine. Already I told you 4 stroke, this one will be the 2 stroke, this one will be the for the 2 stroke, and then k is equal to n by 2 for the 4 stroke engine. Next, let us go for the another thing, that is the brake power. Brake power, how the brake power will be measured? The brake power will be measured at the end of the shaft. What is the brake power? The power available at the end flywheel or in your shaft before given to any prime mover, any drive, that is will be so called as the brake power. Therefore, the brake power can be measured by using the rope brake drum dynamometer. Rope brake dynamometer. This is the power absorbed by ear, and then this is the brake drum dynamometer. There will be the shaft, rope, you have the mass M1, you can add the mass here M1, and then you can add the spring balance unit, that is W toe. You know that spring load, it applied, it is equal to M1 minus M2. The effective load you are applied, M1 is the load applied, M minus M2 is spring load. Spring load that will be measured in terms of kg. If at all you need this one in terms of the Newton, you want to multiply this one with the acceleration due to gravity, that is 9.81, you will get in terms of Newton. Therefore, the effective radius it is equal to diameter of the brake dynamometer plus effective of the diameter of the rope. If rope is not given, you need not to consider that rope. Therefore, this will be your what? Effective radius. Torque it is equal to W into R. W into R, torque you will get. Therefore, brake power it is equal to 2 pi nt divided by 60,000 kilowatts. You will measure in terms of kilowatts. I hope you are all on. Heat carried away by the water. See, when heat is continuously given the heat energy to the engine, then the engine will be heated up. Some amount of the heat energy will be get lost. That loss it will be so called as the loss to the sink. Therefore, your amount of heat energy and that the engine need to be cooled. Otherwise, what will happen? Engine parts will be get expanded. Therefore, then it will be reduced with its efficiency. Therefore, it is better to remove the heat energy continuously at proper rate, the heat energy from the cylinder by passing the water. The water will be passed like this. The water is passing like this. Mass of the water will be passed like this. TW in inlet, T not TW not outlet. Okay. Therefore, the Cp of the water is equal to 4.187 kilojoules per kg Kelvin. Therefore, your amount of heat energy carried away with the water it is equal to mCp delta T. That is, delta T is outside temperature will be more compared to the inside temperature. Then you will get in terms of the kilowatts. Okay. Next, heat carried away by the exhaust gas. See, mass of the air will be given first. Air is need for combustion. Okay. Fuel will be given then these together will convert inside the engine and then produce some amount of the work, and then it will some amount of the whole amount will be go to the exhaust gas. This will be comes with some amount of the temperature. The temperature will be Tg naught. Let me tell you, that will be the Tg naught. See, mass of the gas which is coming out, it is equal to mass of the air plus mass of the fuel. See, Tgi, Tg naught. Okay. Therefore, amount of heat energy carried by your this one so called exhaust gas is equal to mass of the this one equation is supposed to be mg. It is equal to mass of the gas into Cp gas under Tg naught minus Tgi. Okay. Therefore, there here it will be like mg is equal to mass of the air plus mass of the fuel. Mg it is equal to mf of 1 plus ma divided by mf. Why? Because in examination sometime what they will give, air fuel ratio. They will give you only the mass of the fuel flowing. The air fuel ratio, if it is given by using this equation, you can get what amount of the fuel will be there. Otherwise, mass of the fuel they will give, only the air fuel ratio they will give, then you can get the mass of the gas. This will be the equation. Sorry, this is supposed to be the mass of the gas, Cp gas Tg naught minus Tgi. And then next come to the heat balance sheet. Already I told you people, heat supplied it will be is equal to Qs in kilowatts, equivalent amount of the heat energy carried away by the water. This is the thing, this is the table you need to prepare. Okay, see, Qs amount of heat energy supplied, that will be distributed into the indicated power. The indicated power, brake power plus frictional power, and then something will be lost here, that is heat carried away by the water, heat carried away by the exhaust gas. Here radiation amount of the heat energy, it is in examination they won't give. If they give, you can consider in another row, that's all. See, brake power whatever you will get, that you write here, that you write, and then add up all the things, and then this will be, this column will be percentage amount of the heat energy to the supplied energy. Therefore, brake this value divided by this value, here this value divided by this value. Like this you can prepare the heat balance sheet. You can go through the any book, and then you are having another one important concept is that specific fuel consumption. What is the specific fuel consumption? Brake specific fuel consumption is amount of fuel required to produce unit brake power. Amount of fuel required to produce unit brake power. Therefore, your brake power that should be, you will get in the kg. This is will be kg per kilowatt hour. Therefore, this will be in terms of kg per hour. You want to put in terms of, even if it is given in terms of kg per second or kg per minute, you want to convert this one into kg per hour. How means you want to multiply that one by 60 or 3600. That will be very easy thing. And then brake power, as usual, it will be there in terms of kilowatt, and then you will get in terms of kg per kilowatt hour. Thank you and all.